Summoner's Rift.
How can you miss it? It's a giant glowing cup.
I never go top. I'm a support main. I'm always in the bot lane. I'm not Mark.
That's your mistake, though, because we have Mark, Snowflare, Santos. These guys are going to be roaming up topside. You don't have a guy like Armut in the game without seeing some attention thrown up towards that top lane. Real quick, I do want to look at this top lane because this is an Arcane Comet on the Malphite, which likely means he's going to be rocking the Mana Flow Band too inside of the Sorcery Tree, which does give him a little bit more poke options. And I think this matchup really good for Malphite early on. Wukong doesn't have a lot of great sustain options early in the laning phase. And as I say that, we are seeing some level 1 madness already. So the Malphite matchup into Wukong, we'll leave it at it's good. For the time being, though, 4 members of Supermassive were stacking on the red buff. We saw some of these like Nidalee invades into the Lily and vice versa in our series earlier on today, and I like the idea of moving Snowflower over there in case there was going to be a late level 1 invade from the Unicorns.
It's interesting to see No Man's go for the Unsealed Spellbook on the Zoe here in the mid lane as well. Not going for the Electrocute for the extra burst. Instead wants the Summoner spell cooldown and the ability to flick through those depending on what the lane state is.
Yeah, and I do like that because, of course, when you pop Summoner spells, even your normal ones that you don't pick up off the ground, you get the bonus move speed and the damage from your W as well. So being able to slide into those is going to be very nice.
Let's talk a little bit about those junglers, though, because I know you wanted to focus on Ananasic. I will highlight the fact that the Unicorns of Love were able to get a ward on Cacao*s blue buff, so that they know he is not there right now.
Yeah, and right now, with the amount of time it's taken for him to get down bot side, you can assume that he did start and fully clear away his topside camps, because we have seen a lot of Lilia just going like Raptors into blue buff to prevent some sort of buff-to-buff start from the Nidalee on the opposite side. So I think Ananasic is just going to be matching the jungle clear for the time being, and while you're saying Armut could potentially harass with some of the rune options you see at the bottom of your screen now, early on with the jungler pathing down bot side, he's going to be a little bit more cautious, and I think because Lilia has been able to avoid Nidalee in the early game, and because these lanes from Unicorns don't really want to go invade past level 1, it's going to be a little bit more quiet than we were maybe expecting.
Those are the cursed words, Andy. It's not what I want to hear, but...
I mean, if we look at Lilia, she's going to be eeping all the time, so it won't necessarily be quiet.
Watch out for that. She does eep a lot. She's going to take away the blue and the grump at the same time. We have a look at where we are in terms of CS. Armut is actually slightly behind in the top lane. Boss just got himself a recall as he's pushed the wave into Armut's tower. Means that he won't have to burn the teleport and has gone towards that no magic mantle. Makes a huge amount of sense. The Arcane Comet, the Seismic Shard spam. I did see Armut had double adaptive as well in his little rune choices. So just getting yourself a bit of extra resistance to mitigate some of that Malphite damage early.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Boss is probably going double MR runes too. Not just because of the matchup and mitigating the poke, but you're looking at double AP in top lane and in jungle. And you're actually looking at triple AP if you widen your horizon to the mid lane with Galio, who you know is likely going to be looking to roam around, because Galio works so well with a couple of the champions Supermassive have drafted in the side lanes. He can pair up nicely with the Malphite, who wants to put himself straight into the fight, and that Rakan too. So level 6 is definitely when playmaking becomes unlocked for the side of Supermassive, whereas Unicorns of Love, I think, maybe just want to chill a little bit more and play off of cooldowns like the bubble.
This is interesting. Ananasic just made a foray in towards that top side jungle, and you can see Balulu teleporting back into the lane. I was wondering if the Nidalee would aim a spear at the head of the chicken, but for the moment, the chicken is left alive.
Right now, Ananasic, he's playing off the timers of these camps respawning, because if you look at it, Cacao already took a reset, so he has a Fiendish Codex. That's not ideal. His mid laner, No Man's, is also trying to reset. I feel like Ananasic is stuck around on the map too long, but he may make it work on Balulu.
Sleep lands onto Balulu. He's going to land the taunt as well, and Justice Punch his way to safety. It's a pretty easy escape for him, but he is losing some time in the mid lane, and you can see just slightly behind on CS after having to teleport back into that lane earlier on.
I just feel like with the amount of time Ananasic has spent on the map, now he has to go down to his bot side camps and clear those away, but again, still hasn't taken his reset, so you can see Cacao has gotten a decent EXP advantage over Ananasic, and Ananasic still has to take a reset, so Cacao's going to have all those camps coming up and is going to win the race level 6.
It's one of those interesting ones where you look at it and you say, oh, Ananasic still relatively good clear on the Nidalee, still has the Hunter's Talisman, so we'll get all of the XP that he needs out of these camps, but being able to get to these camp respawns with that next part of an item, you know, get towards your Skirmisher's Saber, your Stalker's Blade, or even grabbing a Fiendish Codex, just makes the clear that much quicker for you.
Yeah, and it's even about just refreshing the cooldowns on your camp so that they can actually level up and you can get the bonus experience per level, because still, we're 5.5 minutes in. Ananasic is in the bot side, potentially waiting if there was going to be a gank opportunity, but will now be taking his first reset at the same time that Kakao is going to be taking his.
It's about a 9 CS differential. So that's 2 camps or thereabouts.
Yeah. It's literally just the topside camps. And and you say, oh, but Ananasic, can you just go topside and clear this away? And yes, that is true, but you realize Kakao's topside camps are going to be respawning in about 30 seconds from now, and that's going to be absolutely no problem for him. He even has a little bit of extra time if you wanted to look for a play around mid side, which you can see Snowflower's also pathing towards.
The level 4 reset into mid for supports is synonymous with high-level League of Legends these days, and that's exactly what Snowflower is doing. He'll probably just path down here. He's got double control wards, so you can place a control ward in the pixel bush if you want to protect your mid laner a little bit, or even if you wanted to give that Galio a little bit more comfort roaming around, right? Because if you control ward here, Galio now knows he is safe to stand in that bush and look for the hero's entrance down towards the bottom lane.
Medic, you know what's even better than, you know, vision?
Gold.
Gold,
yes.
Experience, get a Scuttle Crab, and what's that? It also gives you vision. Oh, so much bang for your buck right there. Now Santis is making a bit of a foray towards mid lane, but I do like how Balulu has been playing around mid side. He has fallen a bit behind in CS, but has not fallen prey to any ganks.
Ananasic going to miss the spear here. Kakao knows that his jungle is not his own anymore. 4 players there. Santa's going to step forward. Here's the hero's entrance. The Drowsy's going out. There's the sleep. Zoe looking for the damage. Paddlestar can't quite connect. A stun onto Balulu as he tries to get away. He's burnt the flash and will escape underneath his tower. But Unicorns of Love able to get a couple of summoners there and the red buff away.
Remember I was saying that Unicorns Love, they're all about the quantity of fights they can throw your way. Well, that's a 7-minute invade on the top side, bringing Santis all the way up there so they could steal away the red buff and the Raptor camp. Really nice move there from the Unicorns and Ananasic to call that one coming through. But now Gadget has to be really careful underneath this tower. You can see he's just popping his stealth here. And should be able to pop that cannon minion now that Santis has made his way towards the bot side.
Yeah, so what we see is essentially a red buff and 2 flashes taken away from Supermassive to a place in the bottom lane for the Unicorns of for Supermassive themselves, right? So how much can you use that plate to take the game away from this bot lane?
We'll have to see, because already with the BF sword completed for this Misfortune, we talked about some of the insane synergies she can have with her ultimate not breaking the sleep of Kakao, the Wombo combo there from Zeitnot. He is the main damage source for the Supermassive team, and there's not a lot of tanky members on Unicorns. He's going to shred through them.
It's going to be incredibly explosive at teamfights when we get to them, but remember the MF was first pick for Supermassive on that red side, right? They put a lot of priority onto this, so if it doesn't work out for them, you have to wonder if you go back to draft and change things up.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at it, usually you would say, oh, first pick Misfortune, how does it get punished in draft? And I don't really see the punish. Like, yeah, you have the dive opportunities of, you know, of course, the Wukong, and Zoe can potentially try to poke her out with range later on, but here we go, mid lane, No Man's.
Flash in from Snowflower. No Man's still had a flash of his own. Snowflower was looking for the Battle Dancer Grand Entrance combination that you can do on the Rakan, but wasn't yet 6, so didn't have the quickness to back it up as well. No Man's going to jump forward, steals away the flash.
That's a wall, buddy.
Punch straight into the wall. Balulu practicing his headbutts.
Yeah, I like it though. Make sure you can get the flash out of that one. Balulu tries to find the play there, and it was a slick little gank from Snowflower, who is sticking around in the area, but now has no flash, so it's going to be a little bit harder to make that one work out. Seeing the gank around the mid side though, and the pressure No Man still has through mid lane, Ananasic is going to be able to start up the Rift Herald, and Supermassive, they don't know exactly what's going on, but I think they're just going to be able to trade this one out on the bot side. Actually, there may have been, I think that's a zombie ward, so it probably was spotted out initially with a sweeper, and that's why Supermassive are going down bot side for the Drake.
Yeah, look at the Ocean Dragon pretty easily. There's no vision at all for Unicorns of Love on this bottom side of the map. So it's the Dragon for Rift Herald trade. We've talked about this so many times across the course of Worlds already. Really depends on how you use the Rift Herald. Who are you funneling the gold into? You need to get it down in, well, you have to get it down in the next 3.5 minutes, but you should be able to do that pretty easily.
You do also have to low Snowflower.
Caught underneath the tower. Wasn't expecting Santis there. The heal is burnt.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a big loss for them down bot side, because I was just about to say, with them showing top, well, Ananasic, he's up here.
I mean, Armut still has that button. And so he doesn't really care about your ganks. Does have to use the ultimate, but it's ult for ult trade in the top lane.
I keep adding an extra gnaw in there, just because he's that crazy.
Banana,
a pine and an apple. is what we call him there. But yeah, what I was gonna say is that as soon as you get the announcement that Riftfield goes down topside, Kakao obviously has that potential dive opportunity down bot. Ananasik doing the same thing up topside, and everyone will be okay in the end. But remember that Zainot did lose his heal. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, because it doesn't feel like Unicorns are trying to make a play desperately anytime soon, especially with double teleport advantage going towards the Supermassive solo laners. If anything, Supermassive, with those deep wards in the bot lane, you can see there on your minimap, could be setting up for some sort of TP play, but until Armut's ultimate is up, they probably can't pull the trigger. Yeah,
about half the cooldown left on that. 11 minutes into the game, it's a 200 gold difference between the two teams. Nothing substantial. Where's it coming from, though, Ender? Well, we can see in the bottom lane, Zaitnot has about a 20 CS lead. No Man's slightly ahead in the mid lane as well. That's about 20 now, so a little bit of extra gold being picked up for Supermassive. They also got the plate in the bottom lane, of course, which will contribute towards that.
Now Santos and Ananasik, they're going for the path around towards mid-side. Just looking to see if they can seal away any jungle camps. Again, this is what Nidalee is going to try to do a lot of when she's trying to take control over areas of the map. And vision around mid lane, especially for a flashless Zoli, is going to be absolutely pivotal.
Snowflower going in with the quickness. He's put to sleep and knocked to the side. Here's the hero's entrance. Snowflower almost dies, but gets away with the grand entrance. And now Ananasik is the target. The bullet time coming out. And first blood secured by Supermassive.
And who better to pick it up than Zaitnot there, as Gadget walks into the jungle with the stealth, but there's a lot of people here. The Rat with just a Vamp Scepter is not going to want to tango with that anytime soon. Really nice move there from Supermassive, and honestly, Snowflower getting out with just a sliver there. That was kind of lucky.
That's one of the difficulties playing into Akana's Alistar, though, is like you can lock him up for about half a second to a second, and then he just jumps away to someone else on the backline. So even though it was Supermassive who looked for part of that engage, Unicorns of Love weren't able to catch out the target they were looking for. But here comes Santos
double
in the bottom
TP.
lane. Whoa, that was incredibly quick double TP as they look for the fight. But Lulu does have flash. He's going to chase onto Santos. Unstoppable Onslaught flashed away here by Gadget, but he's going to be slowed up by the Seismic Shard. And the chase is on. The Rat is caught in the trap. Supermassive get their second.
Supermassive just have the answers into the Twitch, and we saw there, even with his flash up, he can't survive against the dive. This is how Supermassive drafted. They just went, we're going to jump hard on this Twitch. We're going to make it impossible for him to play the game. And now denying him even more. While Zaitnot was getting kills, now Gadget is dying, but hey, No Man's down bot side apparently. They're ready to pick up one in return.
That feels more like an overstep from Zaitnot than anything else. Maybe Santos stayed in one of those bottom bushes and then caught him out. Of course, the Hex Flash on the Alistar can be pretty darn destructive.
Meanwhile, topside, the Rift Herald was placed down, so Boss was able to fully clear away that turret while the teleport went down bot side, and it's going to get another charge up in the top lane. Armut, can he hit the eye? Oh, he's going to be able to stop it.
Battle of two pugilists there punching each other as the Rift Herald loses out on the fight. I always wonder how much it would hurt to be hit by Malphite. I feel like quite a lot, but then I look at it, I mean, it doesn't do much damage.
I mean, it's kind of like a landslide, right? If you think about it, like, he's a giant mountain. That thing's absolutely terrifying. We'll see this play again because it's a really slick flash from Zaitnot to pop on out of this one. Of course, Santos now without a flash, and Gadget tries to heal to escape from this one, but the bonus movement speed, flash into ult is dodged away from, but coming off of those TPs with the move speed ever since those changes, it is just really hard to run away from that.
It's so difficult as the Twitch here. Like, you have to use your ambush really effectively at the start of the fight. You have to be really far back when fights go on later on, because otherwise, Armut's Unstoppable Onslaught is on about half the cooldown of your flash, right? You're never going to be able to get out of there. He can always just catch you out with the Malphite.
And the madness is that even building full tank is that Malphite, I don't think there will ever be a stage in the game in which Twitch can win the 1v1.
No.
Maybe when he has the flash up and can maybe...
Only if the ult misses.
Yeah, and has like a Nidalee heal on top of him, something like that. He can potentially try to contest past like 4 items, but this Malphite is always going to be insanely strong and is going for a very early frozen heart too, so going to reduce the auto attack speed in that radius around him. That is just misery for a Twitch.
Works well into the Wukong as well as he dives on towards those backlines. He has been given most of the gold. Has Boss. You can see Unicorns, even though they're behind in kills, actually about 1,000 gold ahead because of those 5 plates in the top lane, and that was donated over to Boss and Ananasik. Cloud Drake has been started up.
And Unicorns want to fight this, but again, no flash on Gadget, and Armut has ult. He wants to find the Rat.
Kakau's going to look for the smite here. Ananasik's going to jump forward, steals it away. Snowflower going in with the quickness, can't quite get the damage down, and here's the Cyclone onto the back line. Armut is the first target. Zaitnot's going to try and position across the wall and opens up with the bullet time. Boss took a nap in the middle of it, but is still able to survive for the moment. Kakao chased off. He will get the kill on Boss. He will also fall And meanwhile, the rest of the fight continues as Gadget has been untouched. Zeitnot's going to try and do what he can into No Man's, but it's a great fight for the Unicorns. 5 kills in the river.
It was just a really good fight there from Unicorns. Gadget was under absolutely no threat. The divers of Unicorns were one that soaked up the unstoppable force from Armut. On Anasek, he was able to get into the pit and steal away the Drake as well. So a very big swing there for Unicorns. The game was looking a little bit grim, but with that fight won, they're going to be able to get a lot.
Yeah, Gadget now 3-1-1 with a bounty on his head. This Twitch is rich, and he will be going back to base, finish that play of the Ruin King pretty quickly. No Man's as well, picking up a few assists, is going to be in a very strong spot. These next item spikes are going to be so impactful for the Unicorns because, of course, you get that little bit extra damage on your poke. You get, like, if you can get an extra item on a Nanasik as well, it's going to be so much harder for Supermassive to engage.
So let's check out this fight one more time because, again, it's a steal at the start, and then on one side you see Snowflower diving forward, he doesn't connect it. But then the double sleep comes through, and Zeitnot tries to line it up, but Santos, I wasn't quite sure how his sleep ended up being broken, and the damage used his ult. There you go. And then, of course, the ultimate wasn't quite enough damage to finish off the Wukong, so everything was spent on the front line. They were able to get out free, and all of a sudden that means Gadget, full HP, can turn that one around for a triple.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that Alistair ult isn't just about being a massive Minotaur that is incredibly tanky, but also breaks any CC on you at the time. So you wait for the sleep, you pop the ult, takes 65% damage reduction. Gadget jumped in here, but the spray and pray. Zeitnot's just going to die before he can even do anything. Snowflower was the one to engage, and now he's the one who is being collapsed on. Santos trying to give him a gift from the side of the lane as Snowflower goes down. Double kill to Gadget. That rat is so strong.
Well, Medic, I think the Twitch is going to be a problem now with 5 kills there. That's 2 times in a row Snowflower tried to pick him off, but the Grand Entrance did not find the knockup. The CC was not there, and then he just opens up with so much damage.
Look at this, 1,700 gold lead for No Man's in the mid lane. Gadget is 1,000 gold ahead of Zeitnot. Like, the 4 carries on Unicorns have more gold than anyone on Supermassive.
Would you like some more crazy news? Because there's a Rift Herald, too, on that Nidalee. I mean, what can you do? Has the Blade of the Ruin King completed? That's a big spike right there with the ultimate cuts through Zeitnot and the teleport, too, to make sure they finish off the second.
I'll say what you can do is hit the knockup as Ricard.
Sure.
Like the last couple of fights, it's been Snowflower trying to get onto Gadget, not quite managing to do it. Now, in the river fight, I can understand that he was miles away. But in that fight, why are you diving the tower if you can't guarantee that knockup?
And now we're at a point for Supermassive where it was dead even, you know, maybe slightly behind in gold, but now Zeitnot gets jumped on again.
Hero's Entrance coming out, Snowflower looking for the engage once again, and No Man's has been charmed up. The Zoe goes golden. You have to feel that stopwatch isn't going to save his life for long. Shutdown goes over to Zeitnot. Santa's now forced away as well. He's going to go to sleep, but Gadget opens up with a spray and pray. And he's just forcing Supermassive away.
Up on the top side, Boss is going to be pushing for this turret, and he's going to get the whole thing, though. So while the kill does go to Supermassive, and that was a good fight for them, even more gold being picked up by Unicorns.
The game has exploded into action, and 18 minutes in, we have 13 kills, and you said it in Pick Ban. Unicorns, it's quantity of fights. They will continue to take fight after fight after fight, and it's working for them. 5,000 gold ahead now.
It has worked for them. The last fight didn't go their way, though, and I think there's a key difference in that time, Supermassive, everything was lined up, you know, playing a little bit better together, because, again, their ultimates are so crucial. They always want to fight off of their ultimate cooldowns. Unicorns not necessarily as tied to those abilities with a couple of poke champions. So Supermassive, they want those condensed 5v5 team fights so they can line everything up, whereas Unicorns would much rather split things apart. So if Supermassive is the one dictating the fight, starting the fight, it will usually look good for them. The problem now is they're down 4,000 gold, and this Twitch has 2 items.
Still hope for Supermassive, but they will have to start finding fights on their own terms. Things that help that, dragons, of course, because you can fight in choke points, you can fight over a controlled area of the map. The Baron will be up in 40 seconds. Don't expect anyone to take it yet, but it does give you a little bit more control over how you're fighting. You're not just getting caught out by Gadget as he ambushes into the lane.
Don't forget Gadget, the guy who plays all the wacky picks in the ball. He can still play the 80 carries, and they look real good as well. This is not an easy game to play the Twitch against all the dive that's going to be thrown his way, but leading into this Infernal Drake, he has his flash. Having that ability up means you get a freebie on the Malphite ult or the Rakan diving into the backline. If you can disengage that at the start and then make use of your range, battling down at all the melee champions on Supermassive, you're going to be really hard to deal with.
I think if you're Supermassive here, though, you give this one up. You don't need to fight over it. You're not at 2 items yet on your Galio. You're not...
Well,
Medic. You don't. You're going to go for the teleport behind. Balulu looking for a flank position. The Dragon's already gone. Balulu trying to catch out Gadget. Has the taunt not flashed away from, but here comes the Cyclone onto the backline, and Zeitnot's already almost dead. Snowflower uses the quickness to stop him. The unstoppable onslaught has popped, but that's on the tanky front line. Only Boss has fallen. Gadget killed off one, as also Santos goes down right at the end of the fight. Gadget's still on the chase here, looking for Cacao, does have the spray and pray, won't find him.
Yeah, Balulu was just, you know, being a decoy on the backline, saying, Gadget, take me, while the rest of the team lines up the CC for the 2-kill turn. I will say Unicorns getting the Drake, still going to be ideal for them. They also plop the Herald down the bot side for some extra damage on that turret, and also stealing away the entire jungle from Supermassive. It is a big win for Unicorns, even though they traded down in kills.
That Herald feels a little bit like this was about to time out, so we're just going to chuck it down in this lane. No minions there, nothing else. Maybe they have to answer it. Supermassive will go. Snowflower clears it out. Gadget, Nomans, and Ananasek now in the middle lane as they look to try and take down this tier 1. Of course, removing the mid tier 1 helps so much when you're playing a poke comp. It gives you many more avenues to try and get in. You can come in from the bottom side jungle, from the top side jungle, and just try and put that extra pressure down, but yet to take it. Let's look at where we are in terms of this team fight as Santos and Boss go straight in.
I mean, it looks like a really good combo at the start, but the healing goes through onto Zeitnot, and then they turn it around. The 2-man knock-up into the bullet time cuts through very nicely. I think Lilia burns him down with the passive there, combined with the Leandri's Torment. So a good area of the fight there. And again, you see the theory of lining everything up. It's a very classic combo, not necessarily with the Lilia, but lining up a lot of AoE spells to knock down a bunch of people. But they need to be a little bit more coordinated with Balulu, I feel like, if they want to take a full 5v5.
I mean, I wonder if there's an argument you just say, hey, Balulu, taunt the Twitch. We'll kill 2 people in the time it takes you to die.
I think if Twitch is that far away from the rest of the fight, like that fight, he was miles away. Like he was never, after getting that kill onto Balulu, he was never going to be able to rejoin the fight. But in a fight where it's a little bit closer together, that's where I don't think that strategy is going to work out as well. Because it's basically like putting him in a Mordekaiser ultimate. It's like you take the 1v1, delete him, then pop out, and you're ready to kill the rest of the enemy team.
I get that. Gadget was able to hold on to both of his summoners as well in that last fight. So still got his flash, still got his heal in case a fight erupts in the next couple of minutes. But my expectation is we'll be waiting for the Infernal. 2 minutes on that as Gadget ambushes into the top lane, but isn't going to be able to find his mark. 6-1-1 now on that Twitch. And as you said, like, he's a player known for his more unique picks, his Orianas, his Heimerdingers, you know, these special things that he can bring out. But I'm very impressed so far by him on this Twitch in this game against Supermassive.
Unicorns now just trying to steal away the red buff, and they're not going to be successful. Zeitnot will finish it off, but keep your eyes on Armut. He's just pathed out of bot lane in towards mid. Supermassive are looking for the fight.
Snowflower going in, dances out. There's the TP. That's what they wanted. They knew Boss was in the bottom lane, trying to get that wave pushing up. The wave will slowly move up towards the Supermassive bot lane tier 2, so at some point, Supermassive will have to answer it.
That TP gained off of the pressure provided by Armut. The Drowsy does connect in the backline of Snowflower, but he will dodge out of that one. Armut, we have to look at him, because he's been the carry in a lot of other games. On the Malphite, he's not the carry in terms of damage, but he is the guy that has to find Gadget. The Balulu will drop his ultimate on top of, that everyone is going to use to pile up on that backline. So using the pressure, he gains in a side lane to walk up like that. He got the TP. That's a great first step. The next time, can it be a fight? Can it be a flash? Can it be a kill onto Unicorn's AD carry?
That is what Supermassive will be hoping for. Their backs are a little bit against the ropes in this game. 5,000 gold behind as Supermassive, once again, Snowflower just dancing forward. The sleep has landed. X-Flash from Santa's going to dive in with the Cyclone. Zeitnot is already done for. And Armut tried to get in onto the Twitch, but he was flashed away from. Boss will take the kill. 2 quick ones for the Unicorns, and they turn their eyes over to the Baron.
Unicorns, they saw Supermassive going for the flank. They said, screw it, we're just going to jump onto Zeitnot and get that kill. The AD carry goes down immediately, and this Baron is looking real good for Unicorns.
Yeah, Cacao isn't even pathing over to that side of the map. He's going bot lane. Unicorns of Love will get the Baron. 24 minutes in, a 7,000 gold lead. And it only seems to be growing for our CIS representatives. Perhaps this is their year. Last year it was Splice that knocked them out. Before that we saw Vega Squadron lose to Fungu Buffalo in MSI knockout 3-2. Maybe this is the chance for the Unicorns.
Wow, the sleep connecting there. No Man's getting that on to Zeitnot. Of course, Armut without the follow-up of that Misfortune ultimate, the damage is going to be lacking on this Supermassive team. You have to get everything working well together, otherwise you are not going to be able to finish off those key targets. Now, back onto the map, Unicorns of Love, they're coming down for the Infernal Drake, but again, Supermassive are looking to fight them. Gadget lost his flash in the last fight. It's once again trying to pile up on this Twitch, and this time it's going to be that much easier, but there is a stopwatch in the inventory.
Balulu has flash, Armut has flash, they both got their ultimates as well. All we're looking for is that wombo combo. You want the Lilting Lullaby into the Unstoppable Force, into the Bullet Time, into the Hero's Entrance. Like, you have so many tools at your disposal. Snowflower slept up towards the top of it is Supermassive, maybe looking for the Blast Cone play here. Snowflower forced away, there's a Hero's Entrance, Armut's jumping onto Gadget, he pops the stopwatch, you mentioned it ended, it's going to keep him alive for the moment, but the knockup's still coming down. Kikau flashing forward, the shutdown goes over to Zeitnot, but now the fight turns on its head as the Unicorns of Love are the ones advancing, stepping forward into the jungle of Supermassive. They get a kill, and they will go back for the Dragon.
Yeah, Unicorn's going to be able to get that Drake. Gadget sacrificed his life, but he did his job. He stayed alive for long enough for the rest of his team to pick up 2 kills on the opposite end right there, and that'll take Unicorns to sole point here for that Infernal, and their comp built around Poke, it's perfect.
Kikau steps in front of the panel side. I think Zeitnot might have just died to that. The Lilting Lullaby coming out, and here's the teleport. They don't want to wake up No Man's yet. They want him in bedtime land as Santos is the one to step forward. Ananasik tries to dive onto Kikau. Zeitnot now the target, and he is left for dead by the rest of his team. Armut eats a spear to his rear, and he will go down as well. The Unicorns of Love have a minute left on this bout.
You know, I thought the push from Unicorns was done after they got the Drake, but they took the fight there. It looked good for Supermassive for just a second. I mean just a second, because Unicorns turned it immediately around, and now they're going to have the inhibitor.
At 15 minutes, this gold lead was 1,500. At 26 minutes, it is a 10,000 gold lead for the Unicorns of Love, and this is what they did in the CIS. They got leads, they got mechanical advantages, and then they just snowballed the game away from their opponents. It's exactly what they're doing to Supermassive right now.
And it didn't even matter that Zeitnot got the first kill, that Gadget fell down early into the lane. They were able to turn around a lot of these fights, triple kill, double kill, turning it into their advantage. Now they're looking at the second inhibitor, and Supermassive, when will they call the final fight? When will they draw the line in the sand?
We saw exactly what the Supermassive composition wanted to do. It just a couple of fights. Looking back at when Gadget was able to pick up those 3 kills, really took this game out of their hands, and there'd be moments of brilliance, there'd be flashes in the pan. But Supermassive are yet to be able to really get a grasp on this game. Of course, we have at least 2 more, so they have at least 2 more chances to get things back on track.
I do think it is important to remind people that, like, the early game did look pretty solid for Supermassive. Yep. They got the kills onto Zeitnot that they needed to. They just weren't able to convert that. They took a sloppy fight around the Dragon where Unicorns were able to split it up. It wasn't the full 5-man front to back that Supermassive were looking for, and that's the scrappy style of games that the Unicorns of Love love to play. You know, they want to make use of their strong soul laners, their bot lane too, to take these scrappy 2v3 or 3v3 fights all up in your face. And now with 2 inhibitors down, they're just looking to dot their I's and cross their T's and go up to the top lane for the 3rd and final inhibitor.
And you can see Unicorn set up their vision control. Something they're good at when they're in the lead is just gaining control of the enemy jungle. Santos jumping in onto Armut, trying to chunk out the Malphite before the fight can really begin. Balulu on his way. Armut now, he does have the Unstoppable Force. Gadget does not have his flash. You've got about 15 seconds on that. No Man stepping forward. Here's the game. They dive onto Gadget. The Hero's Entrance coming out as well.
He's asleep.
Armut is asleep. He took a nap on the job, and it may cost Supermassive at this fight. Balulu dived onto the backline and was able to kill off Gadget, and now it's up to Zeitnot and Armut to try and step forward. Santos goes down 2v3, in favor of Unicorns as Zeitnot fell. Kikau and Armut got to try and defend.
Whoa.
No Man's flashing in. They've got supers pushing in.
Yeah, they're looking to play off of those bot lane minions and in the mid lane too here. Boss, he teleports back after getting a reset, so he's full HP, full mana. No ultimate left on him, but Unicorns, they want to end the game right here.
Kikau are looking to try and get some damage down, clear out the minions, but you just can't do it quickly enough. Armut jumped on Kikau. Sweeps away a few, but the Nexus Tower is the target for the Unicorns. And it looks like Supermassive may have met their match in game 1 here. Armut down to about a 3rd HP. The Nexus still ticking away, but here comes Zeitnot back alive. Going to be able to defend that win for the moment. The bullet time coming out, cancelled immediately by Zeitnot. And that means the Unicorns will be able to get away.
Disaster. Zeitnot saw the sleep coming in, but he'd already cast his ultimate, so he instantly had to cancel that one coming through. Can't say that it looks good for Supermassive stuck here in their base, down 10,000 gold without a tower remaining. But look at this. The sleep from No Man's onto Armut completely stops the engage. Snowflower gets over the sleep, but without the Malphite to come on in, the damage is delayed. Armut, they try to peel back on this right side of the team fight, but No Man's and Ananasik, they were able to turn it around after Gadget did finally go down with a 3-player advantage. They were able to push into the base for just barely, just almost the win.
You can see Balulu was still able to kill Gadget at the end, but just wasn't quite enough. Snowflower was millimeters away from eating that sleep. Like, that probably would have just changed the entire complexion of the game, because the Rakan doesn't care if he's asleep as long as he's on the Twitch, right?
Yeah,
like,
you would have gotten the CC, right? And then Malphite could follow up with the Galio. Maybe it could be a little bit different here, but now second Baron of the game will be taken by the Unicorns, and I don't think Supermassive can get over here.
Yeah, Balulu does have teleport, so he's going to try and catch that bot wave, but the Unicorns are just able to take this pretty much for free after those super minions put up a charge in the middle and the bottom lane. Inhibitor didn't fall in the top lane ender. That's important for us to note. The Unicorns went for the win instead of making sure that they crossed their T's and dotted their I's and took down all of those structures.
Speaking of, there's an Infernal Soul on the map if they wanted to go for it, but Unicorns feeling very confident, putting 5 people into the top side of the map. Sans is going to pop in with the Blast Cone, and they could just sprint for the Nexus here. Gadget is stealthed up.
Gadget has flash, has heal, has the spray and pray. There's the inhibitor down. Santos dives forward onto Zeitnot's charm, comes out. There's a hero's entrance as well, but Gadget is totally untouched in this fight, and Boss is still on the front line. Bullet time coming out. Santos is going to knock Zeitnot back into the fight. Armut tried to do what he can, but the shutdown comes down for Cacao. Boss is down, but Supermassive are just getting swept away by Gadget. Armut falls, a double for Ananasik. And Supermassive retreats to the safety of the fountain as Unicorns take game 1.